Well, hello. I've been sitting here reading the RAV4. Been really thinking about, all this controversy that's been happening due to these people blowing up fishermen boats. Whether it's narcotics or they're just regular fishermen, we have to think, are they just impoverished? Probably because they're the mules. But also, that's why we have the Coast Guard. Like, if there was, like, I think about, like, why do we have to blow up people? And it also goes back to where my thoughts on warfare, because they're saying it's a war. But Congress has to be the one to declare war. And really, the only person that talks about a war and declaring war is God's chosen people. There being a war against Christ and the enemy. And so we have to remind ourselves that we're in a spiritual war. And it's been a pretty dark year for me as I think about as the year's closed up. And one of the things I told a friend of mine who lost a few family members, including his mother, was that, as far as our mind, one way to transform our mind, and it goes back to 2 Corinthians 10 and 5 about holding our thoughts captive so that we can obey Christ, is that to remember that it is a spiritual warfare. And it's part of that. It is part of that scripture that it's a spiritual warfare that Paul talks about. So for us, it's really important to remember that, but also to remember that we cannot allow ourselves to be prisoners of war. Like, sometimes we get so caught up in our thoughts and our feelings, that the anxiety because we worry about the future, depression because we focus on the past, that we lose focus. I tell my children when they're at college, starve your distraction, feed your focus. And we really do. Let's as we look into the holiday season, just starve our distractions and feed our focus on Christ, to obey Christ and our morals. We're under attack, but to God be the glory that He has shown us grace against ourselves, the mercy, and the grace of the gift of knowing that one day that salvation will come eternally.